Everything at home is mostly like normal. My wife has always worked and had individual interests like yoga, poetry, and etc. That's fine. So do I. In the last several months, something has just been off, like a disturbance in the force. Hard to pinpoint it, but it's always there. She's a little more distant, sometimes even during sex. We still do our regular weekend morning sex, but lately it feels like her mind is elsewhere. She's present in our marriage, but not present. I ask her if something is bothering her, but she always says no every time. I wouldn't suspect infidelity, but she has been spending more time outside the house alone in the last few months, probably last 6 months. She was busy, but always upbeat and very energetic and almost giddy. Maybe 3+ weeks ago, that changed. She started being around more, but aloof. She now comes up to my office in the house and hangs out with me, but it's like sad all the time. She wants to be around me all the time, which I love, but the way she's acting is freaking me out a little. The weird thing is our twins are acting weird too. They're acting extra sweet to me and offering to help me take out the trash, etc. And trust me, that's not typical behavior for them. It's like they all know I have cancer or something, and I don't know. Their weird loving behavior started several weeks ago, about the same time as my wife's weird behavior. The only reason I am on this forum is because I looked at our Verizon bill 2 months ago, and there were a ton of texts between her and some unknown number. I asked about them and she said that it was one of her girlfriends. I looked at her phone and there were 0 texts with that number. I asked her again and she said that she deleted them to save space, but no other thread was deleted that I noticed. The last 6 months has been weird, but the last 6 weeks has been weirder. Update. I decided to call my oldest daughter yesterday. I told her everything that I said on my first post, and she told me that she was going to talk to her sisters. The twins idolize her and fear her a lot if they piss her off. She called me early this morning and said that she talked to the twins and she's coming home on Friday for the weekend so we can talk. I told her that you can't leave me hanging like that. My heart can't take it. Tell me what's going on. She said it's bad, but it could have been worse. She told me not to worry and that the soonest she can come home and talk is Friday. She said it's bad, but there is some good too. The twins swore her to secrecy. They and my wife do not know our oldest daughter is coming home this weekend, and she said not to tell them. She was adamant about it. Sorry, that wasn't much of an update. I guess I have to wait until Friday. A lot of replies here have me scared to death, as well as other thread I have read here. It's like things like this never have a happy ending. I fear the worst. I think she has had an affair and the twins know. My daughter was cryptic in a phone call and obviously don't want to talk about this on the phone. New update. Not much to say really. It's what everyone thought. My wife had an affair. It wasn't a coworker or someone from one of her hobbies. It was a friend of ours, the husband of one of the couples we were good friends with. Of course, he would never be a friend again, and I'm adamant about informing his wife. The twins busted her out with him when she was supposed to be at yoga. They were really upset and confronted her. She said she wasn't going to leave me or anything even remotely like that. It was just a fling. They both liked how it felt to be like kids, dating and sneaking around. She really didn't know how devastating it would be. What she has put the twins through is almost unforgivable. She ended it immediately and was planning on taking the secret to the grave. She told me she would carry her guilt, and that if she told me, it would ease the guilt but crush me, and it has. They agreed that they were all going to keep this a secret. My oldest daughter went off on all of them. She was furious. I am still thinking about everything. I packed my bag and left, which caused my wife to collapse to the floor as a bumbling mess. I have shut off the location service on my phone and left. I drove about half an hour away and got a cabin in one of our state parks. I don't want to talk to anyone right now. Only my oldest daughter knows where I am. She came and visited me today, and we had a great chat. She said, of course, her mother would do something like this because she's been a pathetic cliché her whole life. My wife follows trends, yoga, essential oil, CBD, and etc. Any shiny new thing that comes along, she gets obsessed by it. And she's middle-aged and being yet another cliché. The twins are furious at their mother and scared that I'm not going to come home. I honestly don't know if I am. I really don't want to talk to them right now either. My oldest daughter said that she's coming home as soon as her semester is over, and she's going to make their life a living hell. She had to leave a couple of hours ago and go back to school, and now the sadness sets in. I am a middle-aged guy sitting alone in a cabin who thought he had his rest of his life planned out, and now I don't. I probably won't post again about this. I'm going to stay here as long as I can afford it and figure out my next move. Life sucks. Update: I'm driving back and forth for work from the cabin, but lucky me, the corona came along and now we are working remotely. That's nice since I'm 100 miles away from home. I have been allowing my wife a couple of minute phone calls with me per night, just enough to let everyone know that I'm fine, but I don't want to be bothered. I communicate with my daughters by text. Young people don't realize you can actually call people with their smartphones. Anyway, I know I can forgive my wife, but God honest truth, I don't see any way I can stay with her. Call me stubborn or bull-headed, but I have my pride as a man. And I have been racking my brain trying to figure out how to maintain my pride as a man and stay in this marriage. I think those two things are mutually exclusive. If I want to keep my pride as a man, then I have to divorce her for such egregious offense against our marriage and me. If I want to stay in the marriage, then I have to surrender my pride as a man. I don't think I could live like that. I don't want to have that discussion with my wife, because she would twist it all up within an hour and have me agreeing with her logic. Have you ever met one of those people that gets their way with everyone? That's her. Someone please tell me that I could stay in this marriage and keep my pride as a man. Is that possible? I mean, really possible and not faking it? My best friend said that I'm in shape and make decent money and I'm a nice guy, so I'll be in high demand with women our age. To be honest though, I think I'd rather be alone and live somewhat of a selfish life. Do what I want to do, eat what I want, go where I want, and not worry about anyone else for a while. This will probably be my last update. My time is up at the cabin. I'm trying to lease an apartment, but that's harder than you think now that the virus is going on. I told my wife there's no way for me to stay with her and keep my dignity. I told her I won't be the man she claimed to love. If I stay with her, I will be a broken man with no dignity, and I will resent her. I told her we can't live like that. She said we can work it out, and I'm the only man she loves. I said obviously our marriage sucks if she did what she did. We talked and I agreed that it's time to split. I talked with my twins who are heartbroken about everything. They know I love them and will always be there for them. Not much of an update. I gave it a lot of deep reflection, and there's no way I could stay with a person who betrayed me like that. My self-respect and dignity are important to me, and I would lose it if I stayed.